is you are driving the sixth extinction of species on a daily basis. There are over 7 to 8 billion people living on planet Earth at this very moment, and at this very day, more than 150,000 babies are born every single day. It's growing, keep on growing. It is easy to feel as if your actions or choices are inconsequential when compared to those of every other living human. But if you knew the future of over 20,000 species could potentially be impacted by the choices you make every day, would you feel like your actions mattered?
Really?
Does that really matter? If you're walking by and you're tossing and you're driving your car and you're enjoying the wind, is that in fact, you do care. In this day and age, our individual actions matter more than ever. Scientists began to acknowledge that the current rapid trends in species extinction could be indicative of a coming sixth extinction in Earth history. So there's previous 5 that already happened. The most famous extinction is thought to have been caused by an asteroid, but this sixth extinction is caused by none other than human beings. So here's the 3 things that could potentially, if everybody in the world does these 3 things or prevent doing these 3 things, it would probably make a difference. Number 1, diet. Have you eaten any extinction lately? Have you been consuming those ribeye steaks and those sirloin and those grilled baby back? Huh? Well, if you consumed meat, dairy, or eggs recently, then you might have crossed the board. Livestock production is the number 1 cause of global climate change. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, which is also known as FAO, estimates that livestock production is responsible for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, which was a lie. The actual percentage is 51%. So you see, they're holding back information. They don't want the people. They don't want their system to collapse. They don't want the people to panic, because if the people panic, then all of their agenda will just fall apart, which you and I live in it. Well, the world's plate has gradually shifted away from plant-based foods to a meat-heavy Western diet. The ability to eat meat every day, if not multiple times a day, is a concept that has long been associated with wealthy developed nations. So as countries like China, India, and the Middle Eastern oil-rich countries grow and develop, trends show that the standard diet begins to include more meat, more eggs, and dairy. Thus, the global demand for these products increases, and the need for space for these animals and space for the extra croplands required to produce their feed increases. At its current rate, around 50% of world's land is used either to grow feed crops or harbor livestock, which means to accommodate more, we need more land, which we don't have, because you guessed it, the concrete jungle is creeping up. And the way we get more land is by cutting rainforests to make room for cropland. Now, many can argue, yeah, human can cut trees and can benefit from them because they were put there for us. And that goes well for the livestock. But destroying our habitat, the ecosystem that made you and me and kept us alive all this time, we can't be arguing about who got the best gear for deforestation. We can't be saying, come on, let's go call Wrangler Star. Let's get into this thing of cutting and celebrate deforestation. Now, Agriculture currently accounts for 75% of global deforestation, and every hectare of rainforest is cleared can release 200 tons of carbon, in addition of 8,700 million tons of carbon just from livestock respiration. And that doesn't account for their poop and all of that crap they walk on. Now, by removing animal products from your diet, or at least reducing it, in my opinion, I'm a person who I enjoy livestock meat. I have recipes on top of recipes, maybe one day. But by removing animal products from your diet, or at least lowering your consumption of these products, you can help to reduce the demand for livestock. And the greenhouse gas emissions associated with their production will decrease for sure if everybody does it. Now we move to consumer choices. One of the driving factors behind species extinction is habitat loss and degradation. And surprisingly, both of these things are caused by human interest. For instance, palm oil, also known as palmate or sodium lauryl or sulfate, has many names, maybe more names. Now, palm oil, simply put, is a vegetable oil that can be found in 40 to 50% of consumer goods. It's almost like fructose corn syrup and soy. And it is one of the leading causes of deforestation in Indonesia. On average, 300 soccer fields of forests are cleared every hour to make room for palm oil. Now, let that sink in real quick. 300, let's say, football fields of forests are cleared every hour to make room for palm oil plantations. The result of this deforestation has caused the orangutan population, orangutan, which is a monkey, a smart monkey, which they call it the smartest monkey. I think it's the smartest monkey behind I think the orangutan figured out a way to use sticks as tools. That's why they call it the smart one. So the orangutan populations in Indonesia and Malaysia decreased by 50% in only 10 years. That's crazy. That's a crazy number. Additionally, the Orangutan Conservancy estimates that orangutans have lost 80% of their habitat in the past 20 years. And where is their habitat? The forests, the trees, the vegetation. Now, in the United States, 98% of all palm oil comes from these regions, meaning the consumer goods you purchase containing palm oil contribute to this deforestation and the loss of the orangutan and many other species. Now, to make sure your consumer goods are paying for this damage, check the ingredients for palm oil or ditch palm oil altogether by using alternatives such as avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, flaxseed oil, sesame oil, many different oils. Now, I know many different countries don't have these kind of oils, but at least you can find a substitute. My personal favorite is olive oil and coconut oil and all of what I mentioned, and avocado oil for sure. Now, number 3 out of 3, purchasing endangered species. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, for instance, purchasing ivory, purchasing shark cartilage, rhino horn, and tiger skins might not be products that you might pick up on an average trip to the store, but across the world, the animal victims of the wildlife trade are being pushed to the brink due to consumer demands. These things, what I mentioned, are expensive and they're not easy to get a hold of, but there is other skins. There's goat skins, deer skins, there's all of these things, all of the other products, fox skins, wolf, whatever it is that you'll find on these crazy markets. Now, in fact, the United States, or the Western world including Canada, is the second largest market for illegal ivory in the world, only second to China. Every year, over 30,000 African elephants are slaughtered for their tusks. It is estimated that the current trend continues. The elephant will be extinct for certain regions of Africa, if it's not already. Ivory makes its way, believe it or not, in the US in the form of piano keys, trinkets, nameplates, jewelry, and a number of other tricky means. The western black rhino has already gone extinct at the hands of poachers, and the wild tiger population is teetering around 3,000. That's crazy. Pulled from their native environments for entertainment. There are more tigers living in captivity than the wild. Remember that next time. Remember that next time you attend a zoo or a circus. Now, in conclusion, the choice is yours. These three examples are hardly the only ways in which humans are damaging the environment and causing species extinction. While livestock production, deforestation for palm oil, and the illegal wildlife trade are three major drivers, there are countless other ways that humans are altering the planet for the worst. Being an aware consumer and knowing the cost that the goods you purchase have, you can remove yourself from this vicious cycle and perhaps inspire others to do the same. When we know how our everyday actions and choices impact others, we are given the power to make better choices. So remember, the choice is always yours. And to learn more about how you can reduce the impact your diet is having on the planet, check out the Ear for the Planet. Excellent book, if you really care to read. This is First We Read. All right, cut.